Hey everyone! Welcome to The Young and the Restless. I'm Jane, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love Young and the Restless, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. Lily delivers heartbreaking news to Nate, and Kane refuses to back down. July 29th, 2025, Tuesday. On today's episode of The Young and the Restless, Lily warns Kane not to go back to Genoa City. Jack and Billy butt heads, and Kyle confronts Audra after finding out that Cole has died. Kyle's phone begins to ping while he is packing in his train car. Summer and Claire send him a ton of messages. He contacts Claire since he knows Harrison will be sleeping in Milan. At the tack house, Claire answers Kyle's phone and inquires about his well-being. Although the chateau has been transformed into Kane Ashby's house of horrors, he assures her that he is. When she inquires, "Who is Kane Ashby?" Kyle responds that he is the ex-husband of Lily Winters. He accumulated his billions under the nickname Dumas. He tells her how the storm washed out the rails and the road when he was taken there on a train. They have been stranded without a means of communication or escape. Claire inquires as to whether it was lovely. If people hadn't died, he assures her, it would have been. Claire's family causes her to panic. Even though her Uncle Nick was hurt and had to go to the hospital, he assures her that they are all okay. But he will be all right. Claire inquires as to if her mother has been called. He desired to communicate with her. "How are you? How is Cole doing?" According to Claire, he didn't make it. What? Kyle asks in shock. "My dad passed away," Claire says. Kyle wishes he could hold Claire as she describes the Legionnaire's disease. He wants to get home as quickly as he can. He inquires as to when this occurred. Since they haven't heard from any of them, Claire informs him that they will be holding a service today. As Claire and Kyle express their love and disconnection, Victoria descends the stairs. "I just spoke with my parents," Victoria informs her daughter. Claire asks who died after they are amazed that 2 people perished. According to Victoria, her mother had to be brief when she called from the hospital. Claire advises delaying the service until they arrive to their house. According to Victoria, they are unsure of Nick's release date. It might just be the 2 of them bidding farewell today. They give each other hugs. Can Amanda dissuade Kane? As he recalls the sound of the gunshot ringing out, Kane flinches and glances to the security screens in his study. Amanda enters and inquires about his well-being. He is unsure of how to react. They're all in shock, she supposes. Kane holds himself responsible for his ignorance about Carter's instability and need for assistance. My God, 3 people have lost their lives. He is informed by Amanda that the police inquiry is essentially over. Together with Carter's admission that he killed Damian, the security footage was helpful. Kane inquires as to whether the outage of cell service was an unanticipated circumstance. Although she claims to have done so, she informs him that she unjammed the signal without getting his consent. She did the right thing, he tells her. He's in the clear, she says. Am I? He asks. Kane finds it difficult to accept that 3 people have died on his land. He considers Jill to be his mother, and she recently lost her grandson while he was watching. He saved his life. What if he gave Carter too much encouragement? He was aware of Lily and his aspirations. Kane is told by Amanda that he cannot hold himself responsible for this. They couldn't have predicted that Carter would do this. Kane believes that he ought to have recognized the warning signs and sought the necessary assistance. Kane is reminded by Amanda that he treated Carter well. He's dead now, Kane says. 2 defenseless men as well. Additionally, Nick is in the hospital because he was foolish enough to suspect wrongdoing. Amanda wants to anticipate the future. According to Kane, everything will go according to plan. According to Amanda, things have changed significantly and he now has more enemies than friends. According to Kane, popularity was never the goal. He has a vision, and he will not give up at this point. Amanda is reminded by Kane that everything revolves on Lily. He is more committed than ever to completing his plan. Amanda is concerned that his targets are being underestimated. They were this close with Nikki, Kane reminds her. As Amanda notes, everything went to crap. Despite her faith in his brilliance, the families will turn against him. Kane is not concerned. Although he believes they can accomplish anything together, he fully understands if she chooses to go. "I'll stay," she says. She leaves after he thanks her. Then, frustrated, Kane clears his desk. Will Billy and Phyllis stand up for Kane? Diane ponders how Damian and Chance's deaths may have happened in the main train car. Jack complains that Kane, the monster, and his ego are to blame for how things ended. Two good folks are no longer there. Billy admits that it wasn't simple to tell Abby about Chance. Phyllis is terrified to tell Summer. She was close to Chance. Diane discusses the tragedy involved. Although Phyllis acknowledges that it was absurd, she gripes about everyone blaming Kane. Billy supports her. Shocked, Jack maintains that Kane is to blame for the fatalities even if he may not have used the guns. Billy and Phyllis argue while defending Kane, claiming he had no intention of any of this happening. Even so, Sally says, 3 individuals are dead. According to Jack, Chance was always reliable and a great man. This loss will be devastating for Jill and Nina. Billy is certain that his mother will somehow hold him accountable. He is reminded by Jack and Phyllis that he was not involved and that he helped save lives. Chance died a hero, according to Billy. Jack contacts Jill and offers to go with Billy. Billy will let Kane handle that. If he calls, he doesn't think she'll even answer. It is preferable for someone other than him to deliver this news. Diane tells Audra that if she's looking for her kid, he's not there when she walks in. Audra isn't interested in finding Kyle. Diane informs her that she has embarrassed herself. Since Amy would be heartbroken by Nate's brother's death, Audra has little interest in defending herself. Sally pours her a drink as she stalks over to her. Diane notes that they still don't know what Kane's plan is, or was, after Jack reads his welcoming note about waiting and hoping. Victor's smile vanished as his face hardened into a far more menacing appearance. He moved closer to her, his presence hovering over her like a thundercloud as he made another step forward. "You always did have a rebellious streak," he thought in a surprisingly composed tone. The mention of Kane caused a new surge of horror to wash over her, causing her breath to catch in her throat. "But you forget who you're dealing with. Cross me, and you'll regret it. And so will Kane." Her buddy, her ally, and the one person who had supported her through it all was Kane. The threat was obvious, and Victor knew exactly where to hit her to cause the greatest harm. Kane would suffer if she pushed him too much. She felt stuck after coming to this revelation, caught between wanting to fight back and being afraid of what Victor may do to the people she loved. The idea of endangering Kane was intolerable. She had already lost so much. However, everything changed when it was shown that Damian was still alive. She couldn't simply leave and act as though she hadn't been told the truth. Her thoughts were racing, trying to find a way out, a route that wouldn't lead to additional suffering, but there weren't many possibilities, and none of them were risk-free. Detecting her internal conflict, Victor used his edge to his advantage, lowering his voice to a whisper with each word a well-placed jab. Amy was faced with an impossible choice as the ultimatum hung between them, heavy and suffocating. "You have a choice, Amy. Walk away now, forget what you've heard, and life can go back to normal. Or keep digging, and I promise you, the consequences will be far worse than anything you've faced before." However, as she gazed into Victor's emotionless, icy eyes, she was certain that this was not the end. By no means. When Kane entered the room, his face cautious, his eyes darting between them as though he sensed the tight atmosphere, the sound of approaching footsteps broke the tense silence, and both Amy and Victor glanced toward the door. "Everything all right here?" he said, his body stiff and his voice cautious, prepared to step in if needed. Amy opened her mouth to reply, but Victor spoke first, his voice fluid, returning to his normal calmness with ease. His smile reappeared but did not extend to his eyes. "Just a friendly conversation," he responded. "Nothing to worry about." Amy, however, was wiser. The game was far from over, the lines had been drawn, the threat had been made. Even though her mind was already racing with plans and the will to get the truth at any cost, she managed a modest, comforting smile as she met Kane's probing gaze. Damian was still alive. Victor had seriously underestimated her if he believed he could prevent her from discovering him. She would not back down this time, and the war had only just begun. Since that awful night, Amy had seldom slept, and each time she closed her eyes, the blood was visible. She couldn't shake the vision of the dead body, the white skin, and the icy silence. Before everything became motionless, she recalled how desperately Damian had gasped for air. He was gone, everyone had informed her. Kane had made a vow. With a mixture of surprise and remorse, Amanda had whispered it. Nate, with his medical knowledge, had even verified that there was no pulse. However, Amy was shocked by what she was witnessing as she stood in the center of Chancellor Park, her heart pounding and her hands shaking. Damian was standing across the lawn in a hooded coat by the fountain. Alive. Inhaling. The same penetrating eyes that had earlier made her feel both comfortable and afraid were watching her. She stopped. A few seconds later, she let out a scream that reverberated like a siren of treachery across the silent twilight. She yelled, "He's not dead," attracting the attention of a mother wheeling a stroller and a jogger nearby. Disbelief trembled in her voice. "Damian's alive," she said as she started to back away, tears welling up in her eyes and her heart racing. She briefly believed she was going insane. But as if to test the limits of the past and present, Damian approached her warily and purposefully. Amy spun around and sprinted, almost tripping over the path's edge. She took out her phone, dialed the first name that sprang to mind, Victor Newman, and her breath came in rapid rushes. When the call came in, Victor was in his Newman Enterprises office going over the security tape from the warehouse incident. For weeks, he had been surreptitiously looking into Kane Ashby because he was concerned of his unpredictable actions and his unexpected engagement with Amanda and the Dumas estate. All the disparate parts began to fit together as soon as he heard Amy's frantic voice on the other end of the line. Victor's jaw tensed as he said, "It's Amy. Damian is alive. I just saw him. He looked right at me." He got to his feet and narrowed his eyes while gazing out the window that overlooked Genoa City. He told her, "Stay where you are." The line died. "Don't talk to anyone. Don't go home. I'll send someone to get you." Victor summoned his personal security team right away and told them to find Amy and take her to the property. He picked up the phone again without hesitation and called Kane this time. "We need to talk. Now." Kane was at Society, watching Amanda from the other side of the room while enjoying a scotch, when his phone rang. He felt his stomach sink when he saw Victor's name. With a casual yet cautious tone, he went outside to answer the phone. "Victor. What can I do for you?" Kane knew this was not a social call because of the lethal stillness that followed the hesitation on the other end. "Don't play games with me, Ashby. Amy saw Damian. Alive. Walking around Genoa City. I warned you weeks ago not to test me. You should have listened. Nick may not be willing to sacrifice the relationship he has spent years developing with Sharon by stepping outside of their friend zone. According to YNR spoilers, Sharon and Nick will have a difficult conversation regarding their current relationship status. Sharon may be secretly dissatisfied since she has been pining for so long, even if she agrees with Nick about applying the brakes. Before the impending battle, Victor Newman will plan his strategy against Kane Ashby and take some action to bring the Newman clan together. In Thursday's episode, Jack and Diane will have valid reasons to worry about Kyle. Since Kyle was stranded in Nice without cell service while Claire Newman was grieving Cole Howard without him, he will always be a wreck of emotions. Kyle's anger with Audra Charles may intensify as a result of his blaming her, making his parents frightened of his retaliation. Diane and Jack are aware that when a vindictive obsession takes over, Kyle may end up in trouble. Naturally, Kyle will have to choose how much of the information regarding Victor hiring Audra to woo him and end their relationship he wants to share with Claire. Given that Claire is still grieving for Cole, the time might not be ideal for that. In addition, Kyle was half naked with Audra and had his kisses all over her, so how could he prove his theory? We'll see if Kyle recognizes that this is a more complicated position than he believes it is and decides not to tell Claire just yet. It might be best for Claire to remain unaware of Victor's orders to seduce Audra and Kyle's extreme measures to trap her at this moment. As Kyle returns home and consoles Claire, spoilers for The Young and the Restless indicate that he may keep some information from her.